From blind spot blunders to sneaky SUVs, head-scratching Honda bumps to airborne attacks, every episode of Wham Bam Dashcam is packed with action, and this week's video is no exception. Buckle up! Mason sent us this dashcam footage from the Corolla he shared with his fiancée. At least, she was at the time. Watch what happened when she changed lanes without checking her blind spot. A passing pickup truck clipped the front of the Corolla, sending it smashing into the back of the semi-truck. Mason's insurance provider paid $6,900 to fix the car, leaving Mason to pay an additional $2,300 to complete the repairs. This footage proves that owning a dashcam won't help you if you're a bad driver. Mason's fiancée was found responsible after police watched the footage, and Mason told us their insurance premiums nearly doubled. He also said that his fiancée was relegated to driving their POS 08 Impala after this incident. He didn't tell us this wreck was the reason why she's no longer his fiancée, but he didn't tell us it wasn't either. Josh's girlfriend was driving his car home from work when she noticed a pickup truck stopped in the center turn lane with hazard lights active. What she didn't notice was its wheels sitting in the road, and neither did an oncoming driver. When the oncoming driver hit the wheel, the impact sent it shooting across the road before ricocheting off the curb and flying through the air. It slammed into Josh's Honda Civic, punching a hole in the front of the car. Josh's girlfriend called the police, but it took them 4 hours to respond. In the meantime, the driver of the pickup refused to provide their license or insurance information. Eventually, Josh found out why. They didn't have a license or insurance. He's now using his own insurance coverage to repair his Civic. Ken was on a road where driving on the shoulder is permitted, but only on certain days and at certain times. Today was not one of those days and times, as Ken watched another driver find out. We're assuming the trooper was sitting on the shoulder after pulling over another person using it when they weren't supposed to, as Ken told us this is an ongoing problem in this area. In fact, he said several law enforcement officers had been struck by motorists while stopped on the shoulder in this area. Ouch! Let's hope the state patrol teaches these scofflaws some expensive lessons and the shoulder abuse ends. Jenna was on her way home after picking up supplies for her 3-year-old's birthday party. Watch what happened when a pickup driver signaled to merge into her lane as they approached a roundabout. After the pickup made contact with Jenna's Dodge Journey, the pickup driver got on the interstate and fled the scene. Jenna called 911 and provided his license plate number to the police, but they told her to stop following him. After making a police report, Jenna told us the police informed her that the driver had been found. He admitted to his involvement in the collision. Jenna's Odyssey was repaired for $4,500. She also told us this was the 5th vehicle collision she and her husband have been involved in as many years. We featured one of them in a previous episode nearly 3 years ago. We'll link to it at the end of this video. Sam had an encounter with an impatient pickup driver after the traffic light ahead turned green. As Sam accelerated to cross the intersection, the pickup driver tried to use the lane next to him to get around him. Only one problem. That lane was a turn lane that didn't continue on the other side of the intersection, and the pickup driver slammed into a curb at around 25 miles per hour. Sam told us that after the pickup driver destroyed his Nissan Titan's alignment, he didn't learn his lesson and just went to the other lane to go around him and continue bullying other drivers. Speaking of destroyed alignments, check out the SUV that Carson encountered. Carson's wife was driving their Chevy Blazer when they merged onto a highway behind an SUV that was clearly experiencing some mechanical issues. Check out what happened just moments later. Carson told us the SUV didn't collide with the median barrier, so they continued. Even so, he took over the driving for the rest of the trip, at his wife's request, we assume. Nathan was on his way to school when he watched an SUV run a red light before smashing into an oncoming Ford Focus. After the collision, Nathan checked with the Tesla driver ahead of him to see if she had Tesla cam footage, but she didn't have it set up. Hopefully she'll check out our how-to video on the Wham Bam Tesla Cam channel and get that fixed. Nathan emailed his dashcam footage to the responding police officer, then hurried to school where his tardiness was excused after he told them what had happened. Thankfully, he confirmed nobody was injured in the collision. Trisket was headed home after work when she noticed moonlight reflect off something as she drove by it on the highway. The next day, she drove past it in the daylight and discovered it was a large SUV stuck on the hillside. Sir, you can't park there." Trisket called the Utah Highway Patrol to inform them of the abandoned vehicle, and they thanked her and told her someone else had already reported it. She said her dashcam has been her best investment, and she's got tons of other crazy videos to send us after only having it for a few months. If you've got footage to share, the link to send it in is in the video description. This subscriber was on his way home from a medical appointment with his service dog when a pickup pulling a fifth-wheel camping trailer suddenly made a U-turn, completely blocking his path. After the collision, our subscriber waited for the Arlington Police Department and MedStar paramedics to respond and extract both him and his service dog, Athena. He is grateful to them all for their care and professionalism. Sadly, the collision totaled his Chevy Impala, and the amount the other driver's insurance provider paid him wasn't enough to replace it with a similar vehicle. He said he loves all our channels and watches them with Athena. Nathan was passing a pickup pulling into a parking lot when a Subaru driver pulled into the road without peeking at her peripherals. Thankfully, Nathan noticed the negligent nitwit navigating nonchalantly and narrowly nixed nailing the noodle brain. When Evelyn's light turned green, one Durango driver ignored her red. Evelyn honked and hit the brakes, but that wasn't enough to stop her Camry from T-boning the Durango. She called the police, but she was told they won't respond to vehicle collisions if nobody is injured. Thankfully, this was one such collision. She said the Durango driver claimed to be dizzy after donating plasma, and she thought her light had been yellow. Evelyn's hopeful her dashcam footage will make her insurance claim a breeze. This subscriber captured a Tesla behaving badly. That Tesla man can't drive. That Tesla man can't drive. The driver of a black Model 3 pulled away from a parallel parking spot, cutting off traffic to travel across all lanes so they could make a left turn at an intersection only 20 feet from where they'd been parked. Thankfully, the Tesla driver's poor judgment didn't result in a collision this time. Mark was about to make a legal right on red when he noticed another driver was going to make a U-turn and properly yielded the right-of-way. Sadly for him, the driver of the car behind him wasn't paying attention. Mark noted that there was no reason for the other driver to be checking his left since cross-traffic had a protected left turn. The only direction he needed to be looking was directly ahead. Mark said the insurance claim is still being processed, and the other driver's insurance provider told him they might not be able to cover all the damage. We're not sure what that means, but Mark, you might want to hire a lawyer. That's not the only submission Mark sent us. This one's also from Vegas, and it happened 3 months earlier. The driver of a Chevy sedan went way too fast into a turn, nearly slamming into a Model Y waiting at a traffic light. Thankfully, the Chevy driver was able to skid to a stop a few feet short of a head-on collision before backing up and driving away. Head on a swivel, Mark. Iris was arriving at school when the driver of an oncoming Kia ran her stop sign, colliding head-on with Iris's Scion TC. Both drivers stopped after the collision, and thankfully neither was injured. When campus police responded to the scene, the Kia driver immediately admitted to causing the collision, claiming she hadn't realized there was a stop sign. Sadly, Iris's Scion lost all power after the collision, requiring her to have it towed away. The Kia driver's insurance provider paid around $3,000 to repair it. This subscriber spotted an especially bad driver when an SUV in the left turn lane suddenly cut across several lanes to turn right instead. Somebody count up all the laws this SUV driver broke while making this maneuver and put it in the comments. I lost track. Our subscriber told us he shows his 2 kids, who are both working on getting their driver's licenses, our videos, often followed by, "So don't do that." Here's another bad example you can show them, assuming you haven't already. Daniel was on his way to a medical appointment when a pickup turned in front of him. A Honda Odyssey had blocked the view of the F-150 driver, and she'd turned into the path of Daniel's Volkswagen Tiguan. With traffic on his right and the stopped minivan on his left, he had no choice but to collide with the pickup. Daniel said the pickup driver apologized and told him she hadn't seen his SUV. Thankfully, nobody was injured, so after exchanging insurance details, both drivers went their separate ways. Sadly, the collision disabled Daniel's VW, requiring it to be towed away. 2 days later, the pickup driver's insurance provider accepted responsibility, and they're now paying for a rental car for him while his SUV is repaired. This subscriber was forced to slam on his brakes to avoid T-boning a pickup truck after the driver turned across the road in front of him. Thankfully, this incident was only a close call. Our subscriber apologized for the low resolution of his dashcam and told us he plans to replace it soon. If you need a dashcam, you'll find our recommendations in the video description. David was on his way to a funeral when he watched the driver of a Honda minivan start moving with traffic in the turn lane, even though their own lane's light was still red. Roll the jingle.
Jump in! Honda bumped! Honda bumped!
Honda at fault? Check. Victim vehicle was stationary? Check. Yup, this definitely counts as a Honda bump. David asked us to shout out his daughter Naomi, who joins him in enjoying every new episode of Wham Bam Dashcam. Leo's father was on his way to work. Hang on a second. Much better. Anyway, Leo's father was on his way to work when he encountered a very Australian jaywalker. Thankfully, Leo's father pays attention for wandering wildlife during the dawn hours, so no kangaroos were harmed. Leo's thankful his first Wham Bam submission isn't anything serious, and so are we. Don't forget to check out Jenna's previous submission that we featured over 100 episodes ago. Or check out this episode that YouTube thinks you haven't seen yet. But sometimes YouTube forgets what you've seen, so who knows? They also occasionally forget who's subscribed, so double check that you still are, and we'll see you in the next one.
Wham, bam, we got a Patreon, man. Please support the show.